at these miniature irises. If ever there's a sign of spring, it's these, and these suddenly came out of nowhere. Something else came out of nowhere, and it's in this cage. This cage houses the magnificent 13, as I like to call them, which are 13 L3 or 13 star purple emperor larvae. And 2 days ago I had a routine look, as I do every time I pass the cage. I always check, and I spotted one was missing. So I took out the pot containing the goat salad that these caterpillars are on. Promptly found it having a wander about 6 inches further down the stem. It ultimately ended up back to its original starting point on its favoured silken pad at the side of a terminal bud on one of the shoots here on this goat sallow. Yesterday it went for a longer wander, but has relocated elsewhere on the same shoot just a little bit further down. Purple emperor larvae regularly, especially when it's mild enough, will have a little wander or just simply turn around, face a different direction. That's a common thing. They're not waking up too early. The buds aren't ready. There's no sign of any leaves yet, and there's only the very beginnings of any bud swell on this goat sallow. But it was nice to see one have a little bit of a wander. It's now tucked in and fast asleep again for another few weeks until the first leaves appear on this goat sallow. I always like it when they wake up. It's gone very mild today, and it's going to stay mild at least for the forthcoming week. Here's somebody that's woken up because it's mild. I had a quick look in the cage that contains the various stems and plants holding the magnificent 13, and here's one of the 13. I wondered where it was gone. I was quite alarmed at first because it's been spending the winter right on the end of this particular shoot. So I took this out to the cage and spotted it straight away about 4 inches further down the stem, trying to hide behind a bud. This is quite normal for them to wake up once it becomes mild enough. This is part of the natural order where they will wake up and they will go wandering looking for another bud, or usually a more suitable bud. This one appears to have made a bit of a stop. The colour of these larvae varies considerably. This one is particularly green. Others are very, very strange coloured. Just depends on what they are hibernating or overwintering on, whether it's at the side of a bud or, as in the case of 3 here, on the dead leaves remaining from 2025. Here's another similarly coloured purple emperor caterpillar, one that's not moved. They usually start to sort themselves out and move to different buds, usually in March. You can certainly tell when buds are starting to open. And I keep this plant, or these plants that are in here, I keep them in the shade as much as possible to hold them back. And it works. And this is one that was up Clipsnell Court, and I brought it back. It's the one that was found quite early on in the autumn and sat in this very position. It's within that old scarring on the branch there it's remained, and you can see it's a more duller green, more olive green than those that I've shown you. They all appear to be okay. I don't have any concerns about any of them, but it wouldn't be surprising to lose one or two. Something that always happens in any population during the winter. That one's like all of them, bar the first one that we've seen, haven't moved at all. And that's good, that's what we want. The only thing though that really gauges when these start to become active and start feeding and developing again is the availability of leaves. If the leaves came out as early and as soon as these larvae start to wake, then the butterflies themselves would be earlier. I think at some time in the future, if the climate still changes to a degree, Purple Emperor could eventually have a partial second brood, maybe even a total second brood in the future. But I won't see the future, but I hope to see the future of this chap in a few months' time. In the meantime, this one is on the move again. It will settle down once it's found a new bud at the side of which it will rest. And thankfully this is the only one of the 13 which appears to be active. And it's quite normal. The positioning of the cage is in shade, it gets no sun at all during the winter and is still getting no sun. They all do this at some time. It can happen at any time. I do like it when they wake up though, but it's far too early for feeding. There's no sign of any leaves coming out. Let's see where this one goes to rest. It may well just go back to the top where it was. Well, our little wanderer is steadily making his way back home, back to that end bud. That's where his silken pad is. He's had a little wander of about 4 or 5 inches, and this isn't anything unusual. It's nothing brought on by climate change. It's just brought on by the fact we have the start of a mild period of weather, which is quite normal. He's reached his silken pad, so we'll settle down. He may well turn around and face downwards, but we shall see. But he's had his wander. I think we've found the favoured place again. And in a few weeks' time, when the buds start to actually open and the leaves form, they will wander even more and find somewhere even more suitable to start feeding. It's all quite normal for these chaps. Nice to see one having a wander though, one of them out and about. They are wonderful little things. Sleep tight, little caterpillar. Just the merest hint of a scent with these. Quite amazing that when you plant these, it's just a dull little straw-coloured bulb. Apart from the picture on the packet, you might have little idea of what these are going to turn into. But I love dwarf irises. It's a great example of how nature rewards you for your efforts. Plant a little dull bulb and then a few months later you get these. Purple emperors are a little bit like that, although I was thinking that the caterpillars, although small, around 1 centimetre in length at this stage, some just slightly less, are the equivalent of the bulbs of these irises, and that after a few months more waiting and watching and nurturing, they will produce colour that, well, at least rivals these beautiful flowers. I find it very rewarding just to take a few caterpillars in of the purple emperor, help them through the winter, rear them through to adult, and then to release those butterflies back at the point of capture. It helps the butterflies, helps them in a way in which I helped these beautiful bulbs to come to fruition and to pay off in such dramatic colours and fashion. Nature's wonderful, and at times it gives you the most glorious payback for your efforts. Payback in the form of these fabulous flowers, and then in a few months' time, payback in the form of the most beautiful butterfly.